but it's not about developing careers. It's more about, the fiscal returns and stuff like that. Again, I'm being redundant here, but I wanted this festival to be about the music. And not about selling tickets, not about selling, boatloads of T-shirts and, selling, Gigantor beer.
Right.
It's about, going there and getting entertained and walking away and saying, man, that was great. I can't wait till next year.
Well, I'm sure that's going to happen. It's not just the Gigantor, obviously, that Megadeth are involved with in the foreseeable future. There's a big greatest hits package coming out, isn't there?
Right.
Which is a CD and DVD, and then I think later on there's also a very big Megadeth DVD in the pipeline as well, isn't there?
Right.
Now, the greatest hits, I think it's called Back to the Start. How much involvement did you have with that?
Well, the selection of the songs, we basically conducted a poll at the Megadeth forums, the website for all of our fans, and they chose their favorite songs off of each record. And, there were records that were not part of Capitol EMI's catalog, so obviously they're not going to show up on there.
Yeah.
And there were other songs that fans had chosen that were great songs, but some of the ones that were skipped, I had to put my executive decree down on, because a greatest hits record needs to be greatest hits, and there were a couple songs that were just ignored, not because I think they weren't any good. I think that it was just wasn't thought of. For example, the song Kill the King was on Capital Punishment, and Capital Punishment was a record that was made to appease the record company for us to settle and to be released from our contract to go forward, which it belongs to Capitol and EMI, and it's rightly to be on this record, because when they took Capital Punishment out of print, that song went away forever.
Right.
So I don't feel that it's right for that song to go away, because it was only ever on that record.
Yeah.
So with that greatest hits record, by the way, the song selection on it was a direct set list we were playing on tour at that moment.
Right.
So it wasn't really it wasn't too varied from what we're doing now, but I mean from the greatest hits track selection now, but it certainly wasn't what the 100% what the fans wanted.
Mhm. Right. Okay. Now the DVD looks intriguing. This is going to be called Arsenal of Megadeth.
Mm-hmm.
And from the information I have, it's going to have the band's promo videos, live performances, interviews, and also a load of your home movies as well.
Right. Not home movies like me.
Well,
watching the
footage
dog
that
and
you
stuff
filmed,
like that.
footage you filmed while on the road.
Yeah, it's stuff from back during Clash of the Titans and some stuff in the studio, and just some rare stuff that you're not going to see unless you were part of my entourage.
Right. What was it like going back through all that stuff and putting that together?
It was really interesting. At some points, it was like having deja vu. Other times, it was like an acid flashback, and not that I had many of those, but there were other times too where sometimes it was really kind of squeamish. It was almost a very unsettling feeling.
Right.
You look at some people and you can say, what, this is where I can tell when that person changed, and so on and so forth. Because, over the years, Megadeth had built a great business for itself, but there were a lot of stuff that happened behind the scenes that never really, has come to, light of day that I know happened, and you can just see it, it taking place, but until the person says, hey, this is what's going on, you don't really know. But once you know that it happens and then you can see it happening, it's kind of like, you're watching a tower very slowly fall over.
Right.
Until it's laying on the ground, you didn't notice there was a problem, but then, you watch it start to fall down, and that was part of the thing that was a little bit odd for me to watch.
Right.
But the music and some of the touring stuff and some of the backstage antics was great.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm sure Megadeth fans can't wait to get their hands on a copy of that. Now, finally, we're going to get a quick blast of Megadeth before you head out on the Gigantor over here in the UK. You're playing at Download Festival in about 3 weeks.
Right.
Well, it'd be great to see you back on a UK stage.
Thanks.
Are you looking forward to that?
Well, I'm really very fond of the UK, there's just been so many great moments that I've had over the last 20 years coming there and playing, and I mean, I would come there just to play the Marquee Club, but you know, having an opportunity to do what was formerly Donington again, it would be great, because the last time I played there, it was kind of unfortunate. You know, people died that day right before we went on stage, and you know, rest their soul. But it'll be good to come back there and do this, and hopefully nothing like that will happen again.
No, there hasn't been any tragedies like that occur. Thank God, since that time in the late 80s when you played. And I think there was a couple of bands that sadly got crushed to death while Guns N' Roses were performing. I think that was the case before Megadeth took the stage.
Right.
So, yes, I mean, I think everyone over here is very much looking forward to seeing Megadeth back on a big stage in the outdoors. You always seem to perform very well out over here in those situations.
Yeah, it's kind of hard when your butt's in the drum set.
So, I suppose really to tie up, Dave, got to ask, I mean, because there were noises made a bit earlier that perhaps you were going to tie Megadeth up, but now things seem to be back in full swing. Can we expect another Megadeth album from you in the near future?
I don't know. The whole thing is I haven't made my decision yet. I'm really leaning towards pursuing my solo career and just letting the Megadeth legacy, you know, end on a high note like this. And although what before was 100% ending it, now is a question mark. You know, it would be bad business for you know, anybody to say, hey, things are going great, let's stop.
Yeah.
You know, but I've got to think about a lot of other things, like, you know, what would it be like to start brand new with great players and this new excitement that everybody seems to be, you know, having and looking for, and versus, you know, continuing to carry on with something that, you know, a lot of people worked at over the years, and maybe it's better to just kind of leave it like it is. So, you know, I've got a moral dilemma.
Right.
You know, what do I do? You know, at this point right now, I'm going to make up my mind at the end of the tour, and I'll make an announcement.
Right. Okay. Dave, thank you very much for talking to us here on Total Rock.
You're welcome, Jerry.
Wish you the very best of luck with all the future plans that Megadeth have got over the next few months.
Cool. Thanks, buddy.